Okay, welcome back to my opinion. This little video is going to be about the study that recently came out in Ohio concerning concealed carry and whether or not if crime went up or down after, I think it was a year of concealed carry being implemented, of constitutional carry being implemented in Ohio, where you don't need a permit to demonstrate your constitutional right, your Second Amendment right. And the study showed that there's an interesting thing too about it. But the study showed they looked at 8 cities: Dayton, Cincinnati, I think Cleveland, Columbus, Akron, and a few others. I can't remember what cities they were, but 6 of the 8 showed that crime actually went down. Gun violence, which is a misleading term because guns don't commit crimes. People do, they just use guns. Criminals just use the guns. But gun violence went down in 6 of the 8 cities. The 2 were, it either stayed the same or went up a little bit, was Cincinnati and Dayton, which is interesting because those 2 cities are real close together, extremely close together, and extremely close to Kentucky, which is right across the river. Now, I'm not saying Kentucky is causing gun violence in Ohio, okay? I'm just saying that's an interesting fact that I'd like to learn more about what the dynamics there are. It's just interesting that gun violence didn't change in those 2 cities, and they happen to be right across the river, right across the bridge. But the overall accomplishment of this study shows that more guns do not equal more crime. People were allowed in Ohio to carry constitutionally without a permit from the government. And gun crime did not go up, it went down. Columbus, it went down quite a bit. Again, it's what people don't realize. It's not the guns. You don't put a gun in your hand and then decide that makes you want to go rob a bank or go do a drive-by or, shoot people, mug people, whatever. A gun doesn't make you do that. A gun doesn't, for a decent human being, an average person, a gun does not make that person decide that suddenly they need to commit crimes. There's something else going on in that person's life. That person's childhood, that person's just their economic conditions, their cultural beliefs, their a multitude of things. It's obviously not the gun. Otherwise, steak knives would have been committing crimes a long time ago. We've had those just as long, too. It's not a gun making people go out and do these things. There's way more to it. And until the liberals, the anti-gun people, admit that it's not an inanimate object, the gun, it's the person, the people, nothing's ever going to come about. Nothing's ever going to get solved. Nothing's ever going to get fixed as to the reasons why this is happening. And I'm sure more and more studies will come out, and it's basically going to be about the same. It's just going to show that guns aren't the problem. It's the people that's the problem. Need to be looking at who's committing these crimes and why, not if they used an inanimate object. I mean, people die from blunt force trauma more than they do guns. So in other words, ball bats, clubs, hammers, etc., way more. So take it for what you think. Go look at it yourself. The evidence. It's just the interesting fact that Dayton and Cincinnati's went up a little bit. Just odd. I'd like to know more about that. I wish they'd look into that a little more too. I'm interested in that. But overall, just evidence, not proof, but evidence that guns don't commit crimes. People do. Like, share, and subscribe. Stay safe and be safe.